We're going to talk about invoicing today, but first, Marv has to make a throw to the garbage can.
All right. Just out of the way.
So close.
So I've gathered them here today with you so we can talk about invoicing.
And what better place to talk about invoicing than when we're ingesting?
We are ingesting while invoicing. Well, Corey was invoicing, not ingesting, so.
We actually pulled them off work just to come do this.
Yeah.
So
We're technically being counterproductive right now.
Yeah, counterproductive, because now we've got all of us in one place, which means none of us are working right now. But I can still consider YouTube work. At some level.
It falls under marketing.
Yeah.
YouTube falls under marketing, which can fall under work. We'll go with that.
This is all a write-off.
So a lot of people ask the question, I get this all the time, like, how do you do ticketing? How do you do this and that? And we create invoices as tickets. And this has been our strategy for a long time. Corey, do you go out on a ticket or do you come back and just invoice what you did?
I just came back and just invoiced the job I did. Took me about 2.5 minutes and it's already sent.
Yeah.
So it's so streamlined. I love it.
And this is the part that drives me nuts. I worked in IT. I've worked at the corporate level of IT, and people get so hung up on these ticketing systems and filling out paperwork and forms. And I try to make sure, and I get a lot of input from everyone to make sure that we're not burdening the process.
A lot of me whining.
Yeah, a lot of Steve whining.
Yeah, but that's going to happen anyway, so.
You kind of have to look at your goal. I mean, first, if you're in business because you want to make money, that means you have to invoice a client. Now, we like documentation, so we like to document what we did, but the same extent, how many invoices are to certain companies that just forget that how to sort Outlook, or say an email doesn't come and they did come, or I can't get my $50 printer to work. Here's your $100 invoice.
Right. We don't mind doing invoices, but we don't want to spend too much time doing them.
Right, so you kind of... It's if you start creating tickets and then it goes through another workflow and goes through another workflow, now you've created an amazing amount of documentation while at the same time burdening your staff, and then things don't get done. And this is also what happens, these big companies that have suck support, is they got the tech, and I've seen this on Reddit a lot, where technicians are always going, oh yeah, it took me 2 minutes to fix the person's problem, 20 minutes in filling out my company's paperwork in order to document the problem, document how it's not going to happen again. And I'm like, look, it's going to happen in about an hour when they forget again how to sort Outlook.
When they forget their password again in 5 minutes.
Yeah, there's things that you need a deeper look at, but there's also the person who forgets their Outlook password about every 2 weeks, or our favorite accounting firm that needs like micro billing, which is, as Steve says it, what did you say? We're going to EA Sports this place?
Yes, we're going to EA Games this. Microtransactions everywhere.
Yes, then that's an important thing for them. These are for our unmanaged clients, which actually still make up a lot of the busy work that we do. Since we have a lot of clients that are managed, they just don't account for the busy work.
No, they don't.
Their stuff just works. We manage it. But for those that don't, and we always give them comparisons, we talk to them like, you should be on a managed services plan, so this doesn't keep occurring with you.
How do I avoid these $20 bills that I keep getting every 2 or 3 days? Well, you keep calling for 15 minutes, and that's worth about that much. Managed services don't get that. But.
Right. And we don't bill for every phone call, but we bill for action. So if you call us, no, you don't get a bill. But if you forget your password, which like I got an email from the one company, so are you going to bill me for every time my employees forget their password? I'm like, well, here's the managed services plan we offered. Well, no, I don't want to pay you monthly either. And I'm like, then you have to pay.
Yeah.
Then you're going to pay me daily.
Because it might be a 2-minute thing to log into somebody's server and reset like an Active Directory password, but we still have to do it. We still have to then go log in,
reset it.
Sometimes they want it on like Saturdays and Sundays.
Yeah.
Like I've sat while grilling last summer. I had a Saturday. I'm emailing back and forth while running in and out of my house to do remote supports and grill.
Call a plumber and see if he'll come fix a leaky pipe for you, and just say, "Oh,
on a Saturday.
It only took me a couple minutes. Don't worry about it."
It was only a drip or two.
I just had to tighten, this one end.
He'll say, "Yeah, I'm going to come out. It's $150 an hour with a 2-hour minimum."
Yup.
Yeah. I mean, and this is the thing. I mean, we try to be as nice as possible, but we do have to keep the doors open, so when they do call us, we're able to answer the phone. And so I'm always upfront with them, like, there are charges for things. We are not trying to microbill you because we just want to be greedy. If I don't do it, Edison turns off the lights, I don't make payroll, and they don't show up, and then there's no servers for us to log into anymore here to connect to your servers because there's no money for
I'll
us.
still show up. I'm still adapting to not being here Saturdays.
Would you cross the picket line, though? Because Kyle and I would totally be out there.
Oh, they would
No,
pick it.
I wouldn't.
Look,
If I'm already here, I'm outside anyways.
But this,
Yeah, but that's it. You can answer the phone and be like, hey, how may I help you? Wait, no, I'm on strike. Never mind.
Other than that, I might do.
yeah. So I'm going to do a video on how we're using, and we moved everything over, but we did it the same with the old system. And that's why Invoice Ninja was a little bit easier for us because it's got some. It's like our old system in very many ways, but it's the same workflow that we
got
did
some
previously.
automation.
There's a little bit more automation to it. But the whole goal is we start a draft invoice, we start filling in what we're doing while we're doing it, and then when we're all done, we wait for a little while to see if they call back, and if they don't, we just hit send on the invoice, and we send it to them. Which also leads me to the same accounting firm that I reset the password at 8 a.m., and he had forgotten what the password he told me to set it to by 2 was.
Right. So did you already send the invoice or no?
No, I hadn't. And I also felt like, do I invoice him again? Do I add to the bill because he forgot?
I would have added
Now, the
a
good
little
news
bit on
Like
is,
another 15 minutes.
well, the good news is I remembered what he told me because occasionally I'm like Steve and I'm like, well, this is what you said at 8 a.m. Oh, yeah, that is what I said. And he typed it in and it worked. So I didn't actually have to do anything other than answer the phone.
I like. I had helped a client set up an Office 365 account so that they can install Office. So they set up the account. They paid for it. They downloaded Office. They had to re-log into Office once it was downloaded to log into the account. And I just hear, I just made this. And it was a few minutes of, hold on, let me figure out what this is. It had literally been 10 minutes, if that.
That happens.
Last pass. That's
Yeah.
all I'll say.
No, we encourage everyone to use all the tools that I've talked about on my channel. I put blog posts and send mailings. I've done everything I can to get people to use tools to remember passwords. Then Monday comes.
Oh, yeah.
It's a rough weekend for a lot of people.
It was a rough weekend for a lot of people. We realized
Listen,
that.
man, I woke up and couldn't remember where my car was. You can't expect me to remember my password.
That has happened to some of my family members.
Yeah.
Why is there a vet in the field sunk to the axles?
Well, and there's people who are like, they took the Post-it note off my monitor over the weekend.
Yeah.
That's it for me. I know I've looked at it every day and I've typed what's on that Post-it note every day, but now it's gone and I'm on the phone with you.
Now, the people I do get are the ones who, what is your password? I don't have a keyboard in front of me.
Some of them that have patterns.
They only
Oh,
know
yeah.
it by the pattern.
Yeah, that happens a lot too.
That I get.
But there's a lot of little things that we have to invoice out, and that's part of the workflow. So a client calls in, that may even be created as a draft quote. A lot of times we just schedule, put on the calendar, like the one you did at the cameras today. It got put on the calendar, go Monday morning, fix this camera. It's right on the calendar. You know as soon as you're done,
Yep.
invoice
Back,
it.
1 hour
And there's-
service. Boom.
Yep, he stopped by there this morning, then comes here because he went there before the office, hits there, types out the invoice, hey, moved camera.
And Invoice Ninja has helped streamline that because
Yeah.
when we send them the quote, when they approve it, it rolls it to an invoice.
Yep.
I
Yeah.
think I
And
put
the
it
best,
So,
the
and
best
then
part
quarter
is
of the
now,
amount of effort I used to put in.
Yeah.
Just to get an invoice.
So it also, it's another, like I said, it is similar, because a few people ask me for the source code to my old one, and I'm like, no, it's a mess. I don't feel like trying to sort the source code out. There's no installer. But it's really the same work. That's why I was so shocked when I found Invoice Engine, how we adapted it really quick, going, hey, someone has a like-minded thought
Yeah.
process.
Now, the old one was actually pretty cool because it was very streamlined for some
Yeah.
things.
was fast.
It was very fast, but it was missing certain things that we found Invoice Ninja does. That's like, well, that makes everything easier.
Yeah.
So.
And that-
Sending invoices directly to the client from it with a pay button.
With a pay button,
Corey
yeah.
could be out on the field and get paid before he leaves
Yeah.
without paying
Just this
anybody.
morning, I sent an invoice out. It was a reminder to
Yeah.
Yeah.
a client. I sent it, and I don't even think it was 2 minutes later. I got the email that was so and so has paid their invoice number, and I was like, sweet! I love it when that happens.
Yeah.
Because that's an important aspect. You have to make sure it's easy for your clients to pay you, or they won't. And you also, and me and Kyle talked about this just last week, is you can't just feel bad for everyone, which you do still feel bad. You can still feel bad, but they still get a bill, and I have to explain what that means.
Yeah.
I feel bad for some, but not others.
Yeah.
Well,
And-
Per case basis feels
It's a
bad.
per case basis because some people do things that are just self-inflicted. But in the example here is they had a crappy printer that has horrible reviews. They did not ask us advice prior to purchasing printer. They buy
Well,
printer.
They probably had that printer for years.
Well, they've had it for, yeah, it's not new either. It was working, it quit working, and here's the challenge. We have to unload and reload the driver, so to attempt to fix the printer. Once we had the same problem, then they plug another printer
There
in.
was roughly a half hour of troubleshooting.
Yeah.
Had them plug a different USB cable in, uninstalled the device, reinstalled it, and yeah, at some point it finally came down to, well, somebody will have to come out and then your printer's probably still dead, especially after looking it up. The reviews were laughable.
Yeah, laughable because it was really crappy printer.
60% of the reviews were 1 star.
Yeah.
60% of them.
So by the end of that, our answer was go get a new printer.
Yeah.
And we didn't actually fix anything, but we still spent the time
Right.
troubleshooting.
Even some of the paid reviews were bad. That was weird.
And that's one of those things, like, and you kind of get caught up in that, especially if you're a small business and working directly with other small businesses. You feel like you don't want to bill them because nothing got accomplished, but you did work on it, and the time is there. You still spend a half hour of your time on it, and like I said to Kyle, I said, who else is going to work for free for half an hour on their printer problem with the technical skill we have? There are very few. They maybe can find their nephew to stop by and go, yeah, that printer's junk, but
Getting them out there's half the battle
That-
for a lot of these
yeah,
companies.
they also have bills to print and things to get done, so the printer matters to them and things like that. And if you want customers to come in, turn the record button on,
Yeah,
and someone will
do
walk
that.
in the front door.
Yeah. Oh, it's just the mailman.
Me too, because like, I'll have to go out and look at something at somebody's facility, and it might take me 25 minutes to drive there, and I might spend 2 minutes.
Yeah.
I feel like, I shouldn't invoice them, but like you said,
25 minutes to
time
get there.
out of our day.
so-
Yeah. So it's time out of our day, and you just have to think about it like that because, it costs money to send Corey places. Corey still needs to put gas in his car, pay insurance, and have the vehicle.
Yeah.
So all that stuff adds up, so you have to bill for driving out there. And sometimes, because we very frequently tell clients, like I remember my favorite one was one of our larger clients, we won't say their name, but I found the 3 top people standing in the server room because I said, all you have to do is reset the firewall and it'll fix it. I don't know. We're scared to do it. I said, if it doesn't fix it, I'll come out, but I guarantee it will fix it. I get there because they said, we just want you to come out anyways. All 3 of them are staring at it. I reset it, and the internet started working, and they're like, wow. And I'm like, seriously, guys, I just said, they said, that just cost us X dollars for you to come out here. I said, yeah. Any way you can change it? I said, look, I told you on the phone. I said, if I drive out here, it's this much. If you just reset it and it works, have a great day. There's no bill. We were all scared to press the button.
I let the one slide this morning because she couldn't get the printer to work, but I could ping it. I'm like, it's not showing up in DHCP. Turn it off and back on again. Oh, look, it works.
Yeah, we give out a ton of free advice. So we are not trying to nickel and dime anyone. It's only when there's actually action taken. So a lot of the general phone calls, we don't bill for phone calls.
Yeah, sometimes we get connected and we look at what's on the screen and go, we can't do it.
Yeah.
Or this is unfixable, or this is clearly broken.
Yeah.
We won't bill you for that if we don't actually have to work on it. Just getting connected to us doesn't necessarily mean a bill.
Right.
It just comes down to if we actually have to start.
If there's an action item where we do something.
Yeah.
Because we also make it very easy for prospecting new customers if they just want to get connected so they can look at something. Because we'll evaluate whether or not it's something we can do. And one of these things, when you get connected, we know the machine specs and things like that. We look at it, go, sorry, because they're like, can you fix my computer? And they want a remote in. We'll get them connected. No,
Can you
no
fix
charge.
this XP machine?
Well,
that actually too.
as soon as when they get connected to us, we can see the specs of their machine. We use Screen Connect in case anyone's wondering.
Like
and you're just like, that's old. You should save any money you thought you were going to give to us and put it towards new
my
technology.
2006 Core 2 Duo is running kind of slow.
It'll
I'm
always
sorry.
run slow.
Yeah.
We have that one small business that always brings his computers in, and he'll set it on the counter. I'm like, you should replace that. He goes, good enough answer for me.
Yep.
Oh yeah. Yeah, we have
So-
some people like that too, where they have the old stuff, but they don't realize it, but they also listen to us. So
Yeah.
this thing's old. This is never going to be that fast.
And they
All
save
right,
so
what do you-
much money.
Yeah. What do you have then that's faster? And then we get them something, and then they don't call back about it.
Yeah.
It just works.
But on that same topic, I'll end this with, bill frequently, bill often, but bill honestly, because
Yeah.
Jesus, every time we've taken over for IT and we've tried to sort out billing, we find that the other IT guy is
Padding the invoices.
Oh man, and that's something we discovered one about the antivirus I'd mentioned on Blog Thursday, where they were billing when we got the antivirus
Oh,
renewals,
yeah.
they were billing our client and
For their extra licenses.
the extra
Oh.
licenses were installed at other companies.
Yes, including his own.
Yeah, including his own. They were protecting that IT company had the licenses that were being purchased by a client. When we traced all licenses, they were actually being installed at the previous IT company.
Yeah.
You're just like, really? Really?
then-
This is-
And he was a reseller for it.
yes.
We had another
He was
client
reselling
that
it.
Yeah.
he was reselling theirs.
borderline fraud anyway,
I don't think it's
That's the
borderline.
Yeah, I think it's borderline. And I know people
It's
who
hard
work,
to prove.
I know people who work
Yeah,
for other
that's-
IT companies that hate it because you end up with a very disconnected owner of the business who just wants you to bill for everything and go find some billable hours. Go
Yeah.
find them.
Yeah.
And that's not I don't.
That's shady.
That's shady, and
That's
that
how lawyers
happens.
work.
That's how lawyers work. Go find some billable hours. Don't worry, people call us enough. We have enough clients that the billable
We don't
hours
have
kind
to
of show
find.
up.
Yeah, we don't have to find billable hours. They find us.
Yeah, the phone rings. There's some more billable hours.
We had to
coming,
find
so.
them. You'd see our faces on trucks or bus stop benches.
Like
Yeah.
the lawyers.
On the side of a,
Yeah.
I wouldn't mind being on the side of a bus.
You would definitely,
Well.
you would definitely see.
As a picture.
You would definitely see 2:00 in the afternoon commercials while you're watching Days of Our Lives of
Yeah.
our faces.
Yeah.
Has this happened to
This
you?
happened to you? I can't remember my password.
Yeah, this is just a general. I'm gonna.
Call us.
The old lady who sold it.
Can't remember your password? Give us a call. No, this will sum up our invoicing video here, but you do just have to. This is a lot of our workflow. Is little things come in. We don't create a ticket for everything. We don't require that the client create a ticket because that also saves on client workflow.
Look, if I had to create a ticket for every time we got a phone call,
Ugh.
there'd be a lot of undocumented phone calls.
Yeah, and this goes the same for why a lot of our businesses like us because they used to hate and we have not been unable to tackle the beast for many reasons of why we can't take over IT for my wife's company where she works but everything is a ticket and schedule a time with the technician and everything's like this convoluted pain in the butt because it has to go through their structured system. You can't just call them. You go online, open a ticket, or use their handy app. And she's like, "Look, I just got,
What I love is when you explain that you can't leave the session open. So for us, we can install Screen Connected.
Yeah.
They can say, hey, sometime after 5, can you log in and look at this? No, with them, you have to schedule a time. And if they call you back and you're at lunch, then they reschedule for another day because
So you're like a week out from.
just chasing each other in phone tag.
And I'm
trying
just
to
like,
get-
we have a lot of clients, and we're busy, although we're all screwing around right now making a video, which is marketing. But we're actually
marketing.
which is marketing. So we're actually
Marketing.
doing
Yeah. Uh-huh.
yeah, I'm justifying, right?
This is a write-off right here.
This is a write-off right here. So, I mean, we understand that there should be processes, but keeping it very simple, just think about that if you're starting a business, think about that how you do whatever you do. And if it's not related to tech, it's still the same thing. It's keeping it very streamlined. So we make it easy for the clients. We make it easy for my people internally. And they will let me know. Matter of fact, they always let me know when I do something that's not making it easy.
Documentation and organization are key.
Inter-office communication.
But streamlining processes is also key. I'm not going to document something for 20 minutes.
And I am going to do an actual video to show the tools we use like in a functional way. So this is the talk about it way we're going to do it. And then I'm going to make a functional how we do it. Like, hey, this is how we type things up and things like that. Because that way, I think that's important because a lot of people talk about things in a very, what do you call it? Like just big, broad terms like all these public speakers
Kind of like
do.
the abstract and not
Yeah, very
10,000
abstract.
foot view.
Yeah, and those are important, but a lot of people go, well, how do I actually do it? I
Yeah.
need like a work instruction, and that's what I always try to bring on my channel here is some of that functional hands-on, this is how we actually do it type
Like
thing.
using Alexa to set
minutia.
cryptic reminders. Alexa, remind me to look at that server at 5, and then a few of us have the app, so we
Yeah.
all get the notification.
The best part is
yeah.
after Alexa tells you, you hear about 10 minutes later Steve yell out of his office, "Did you ever look at that thing? Yeah, I got it. Thank you."
We try to use Google Calendar most of the time, but it's kind of fun putting things in Alexa occasionally,
Yeah.
so.
Little reminders because we get emails and that,
Yeah.
or phone calls. Look, we're all out of here at 5. Can you restart it when we're gone?
Yeah.
That was actually a call I got Friday. He's like, yeah, I'm leaving here in 10 minutes. You can
Yeah.
look at it while I'm
And
gone. I'll leave it on.
luckily, the managed services, because I actually had that today, and somebody on our managed services goes, "Yeah, no, if you can restart them, we leave at 5." I scheduled it for 5:30 because our services allow us to do that.
Yeah, that's a nice thing. Our managed clients are handled differently because we just deal with all the small phone calls. But once we kind of get them up to speed, and always the goal is to reduce the number of phone calls to a process to make sure that they always have a clear process. It makes it so much easier. Plus the things like that, like you said, they need to have something updated where it's all managed on our back end. And I've done the review of this. This is the SolarWinds tool we use. We just right click, okay, reschedule that computer to start at 5:30 because we know that person leaves at 5 o'clock. Boom, and now we don't have to think about it. We did it while we're on the phone with them. If they forget we told them to restart, not my problem. They told me to do it. But
Yeah.
And since this is something too, I will mention, we do make sure, because someone's going to probably bring this up in the comments, we do make sure we're valid in talking to who we should be talking to before we do a password reset.
Yeah.
I've
had that.
That is
we
a
actually-
process.
I don't know if I even mentioned it to you.
I told him.
Okay, I was gonna say we had somebody call the other day who said they were from a client of ours, but wasn't the normal contact that we had from the client. So I said, well, you know what? I have this person's email on file. I will send him the instructions that you need.
Yeah.
And he goes, okay, I can get it from them. So that's fine.
Yeah,
But
Yeah.
and we do that. We will contact. Generally, it's the owners who are going to be on the contact or the office manager, and that's part of it too. We'll just get on the phone with them and say, "Hey, I got a person named so and so that says they work at your office that said they need it set up or need this or want a password reset." And I think so far there's only been one time with the law office we found they fired someone. That's why they were calling us for the password reset.
yeah.
They called us for password, which I also found odd because they hadn't called before for one. And right away I texted the owner because I happen to personally know him. I'm like, so I just got a request from this person. They're like, yeah, I fired him. I said, okay.
Okay. Yeah. Well, I won't reset their password.
Yeah. You should also, I told you, you should tell us when you fire people.
That's important.
We mention
Little
that,
bit.
but we don't rely on that.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
always make sure, and we make this clear when you set up engagement rules with your clients, make sure that's clear who's responsible for those type of things. That's an important thing when you're setting them up, which I'm going to eventually get around to doing a client onboarding video. There's some stuff we go through and document on that. So
This one's dead. I'm gonna try this one again.
yes, all right, go through it, Margaret. That'll end the video.
We need more of those.
Yes! Nailed it! Boom!
Nailed it. I didn't have a camera pointing that way.
No.
Believe us, he actually did it.
Totally nailed it.
He could-
There is one on the floor that
yeah.
I missed, but I nailed that one.
Yes. All right, thanks for watching. Like, subscribe. Leave questions, comments below. We'll look for the video soon on
Steve says bye.
functional workflow. Steve, customer came in.
Yeah.
So now he's actually working and we're all marketing now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Thanks.